Before I head out to start my day, I wanted to come in and briefly talk about this viral news story. Hey y'all, my name is Tabitha. If you've come across this video and are not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you've come across this video out there on my social media pages, please make sure you hit that follow button. I am trying to get to 500,000 subscribers on each and every one of my social media pages. That would be YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Starlight, and Threads. There's this viral news story going around, and it's regarding the case with Carmelo Anthony and with Austin Metcalf. Yeah, here's a news story about it if you have not heard about this case.
I want to clarify something right off the start because I've already heard some rumors and some gossip. This was not a race thing, and this is not a political thing.
That's the father of Frisco stabbing victim Austin Metcalf. He pleaded on national television for his family's tragedy, the loss of their son, not to be turned into a race or a political issue. The sad reality is that appears to be exactly what has happened. Amid a surge of misinformation and false claims, the story has taken on a life of its own online. Tonight, our I-Team reporter Brian New with who is behind some of these social media posts, including one political candidate who is calling for a protest this weekend in Frisco.
From the very beginning, people far from Texas have amplified this story on social media, often injecting misinformation to push false narratives. This has come from individuals claiming to support Austin Metcalf, as well as those claiming to support Carmelo Anthony, despite having no connection to the families or the community. This week, a flyer has been circulating online to promote a protest. The flyer uses a picture of Metcalf with the banner reading, "Protect White Americans." If you look at the initial flyer, it misspelled Frisco. It also got the name of a local high school wrong and incorrectly claimed this is where the stabbing took place. It did not. The latest version of the flyer now shows a new location for the protest. This flyer has now been shared by dozens of high-profile social media accounts. This one post received 5.3 million views. The organizer of the protest, according to the flyer, is this man, Jake Lang. Lang was charged with attacking police at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. He was pardoned earlier this year by President Trump. Lang is now running for U.S. Senate in Florida. The Frisco Police Department said it is aware of the scheduled protest and put out this statement yesterday, saying officers will be on hand to ensure the safety of the public while allowing the protesters to exercise their First Amendment rights in a peaceful manner. With the I-Team, Brian New, CBS News, Texas.
This is what happens when MAGA nuts who stormed the Capitol have been freed to not serve out their full sentence. No repercussions and no serious accountability often leads to repeated criminal behavior. Look at Donald Trump. That Protect White Americans protest, based on what people are saying out there on social media, maybe 10 people at the most attended that protest. And yes, there were counter protesters there as well. But while at this protest, that January 6er, that insurrectionist who's running for Senate, he made a telephone call to the father of Austin Metcalf, the victim in this case, the victim in this case. And this is the conversation, part of the conversation that took place.
Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today. Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, my turn to speak. You are part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any fucking...
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk.
But my son, let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you. I don't...
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir.
Thanks.
You are creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness.
You are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak. You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness.
You are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak. Condemn your son's killer and the culture that caused it.
Hey, Jeff.
That's the problem. You've been submitted.
Hold on, hey, Jeff.
You've been submitted.
I'll handle it from here.
You've been submitted, sir.
You're not gonna make us back down.
If we were all of your nature,
Guys, listen.
You're
Let
not
me
gonna
say
see
this.
what a weak man.
Do you know who you're talking to? You don't, do you?
I'm talking to a black man.
You don't. No, you're not.
Okay.
You sit here, you talk about Trump.
But I am. You're not
Google my name and Trump. No. When you do that, my name is Bruce.
I agree with black males winning,
Google that.
but they're not winning right now.
What you're doing,
they're becoming
what
degenerates.
you're doing,
and murdering white
you're
people.
not helping America. You're no more patriotic than I am. No way.
Silent is
Where
not
were you
helping.
on January
You've
6th?
been silent. It's only gotten worse.
Where were you on January 6th?
You've been silent. It's only gotten worse.
Where were you? Did you stand for your
So
country
you
when they
think that
stole our
made you
vote?
patriot because you showed up there? Does that make you a patriot?
Joe
What's
Biden
your
is
solution?
You don't. No, you're not.
Okay.
You sit here, you talk about Trump.
But I am. You're not
Google my name and Trump. No. When you do that, my name is Bruce.
I agree with black males winning,
Google that.
but they're not winning right now.
You're doing,
they're becoming
what
degenerates.
you're doing,
White
you're
people.
not helping America. You're no more patriotic than I am. No way.
Silent is
Where
not
were you
helping.
on January
You've been
6th?
silent. It's only gotten worse.
Where were you on January 6th?
You've been
when they
silent.
stole
It's
our
only
vote?
gotten
Where
worse.
were you? Did you stand for your
So
country
you
when they
think that
stole our
made you
vote?
patriot because you showed up there? Does that
tyranny.
make you a patriot?
Joe
What's
Biden,
your
is,
solution?
Joe Biden is a
All you do is
pedophile.
condemning us. What's your
My
solution?
solution is to help people where they're weak. So we have an issue in young black males' lives across the country.
It's not
It
what
doesn't
say that
matter.
to Jeff
Nothing's
Metcalf.
changed. Say that to Jeff Metcalf.
We talk about it, man.
Say it.
At the end of the
So
day,
then- so
the
then
man
what
is
is
asking.
his-
So let me ask you this: you got a father who's grieving, and your response is he's weak.
My father is celebrating my strength right now.
You have no idea. You'll never win the Senate. And what I'll do, I'll come to Florida and run for Senate and run as a Republican, and I'll kick your butt.
No, you lose, bro.
I didn't see the extended clip. I found the extended clip over on TikTok. When I first saw this, it was just the telephone call that I saw. So let me get this straight. The January 6er that's running for Senate called the victim's father and wants to use the victim's father to further his racist, violent narrative. Okay? And when I saw the clip, my question was originally, what's the relationship between the January 6er and the father? Because how can the January 6er just pick up the phone and call the father? There's some type of relationship there. Now, finding this extended clip, it's the black man who has the relationship with the father, and that's who made the phone call. And now the black man who's a Trump supporter, who's a MAGA nut, who's a friend to the victim's father, is going back and forth with a MAGA nut January 6er, who also has a buddy that's a MAGA nut black man. And they're all battling over this kid and what happened. The January 6er wants to use the victim to further his narrative and to push him up out there in the political world. The father is like, no, you will not use my son. The two black men are battling out because this one is protecting the father of the victim, and this one is protecting the MAGA nut who's running for Senate. Baby, this is crazy. It's all buffoonery. And the two black men involved are a part of Kunesian Nation. And you got two kids in the midst of this while they are doing clownery. One has gone on to glory for trying to bully another kid, and that kid felt threatened. And so he responded by taking out the victim. This is crazy. Also, the father of the victim, his name is Jeff Metcalf. He showed up to the press conference that the parents of Carmelo Anthony was having, and he had to be escorted out. I don't know what happened because I'm not going to look at the press conference, because those grieving parents, they are grieving because they could possibly be losing their son. We know how the justice system views black men. They are a threat, and they are not allowed to protect themselves when it comes to white children. This is crazy. This is crazy. Carmelo Anthony, he is out on bail, $250,000 bail. He has been fitted with a bracelet, an ankle monitor. Yeah. His parents are being threatened online. And I'm sure now the parents of the victim are being threatened because that January 6er, that insurrectionist, this is what he put out on social media. I'm not going to mince my words. White weakness and submission is why Austin died. Jeff Metcalf is the problem. So now he's attacking the father of the victim. Austin Metcalf's father is more outraged at me for standing up against the violent, abusive black culture that killed his son. Now, I'm sure this Jake Lang, if he's running in your district, people understand who he is. He is out here inciting hateful violence, using hateful rhetoric to try to get himself into office. Okay? Then he is at the actual degenerate murderer and the family that is dancing on Austin's grave. Well, we've always said that Donald Trump publicly said he loves the poorly educated. And the way that this tweet is constructed, Jake Lang is a part of the poorly educated. He goes on to say, next up, he'll hand his daughter over to be raped in front of the world by the same monsters that killed his son. Stand for something or fall for anything. And he signs his tweet with Jake Lang, January 6er, along with his prison ID. This hateful person who's using hateful rhetoric and wants to use a dead child to propel him into the Senate. If he's running in your district, know who this man is and vote against him. And if that black man rises up to try to run against this man, vote against his ass too, because he's full of buffoonery and circus and clown behavior too.